Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and welcome to Seed Sunday. This is a weekly series I run on my channel where I show you seeds for Minecraft Xbox and Minecraft PlayStation that are particularly worth checking out for some reason. And usually that reason is a single really cool feature, like for instance an underground desert temple, or 3 desert temples, or 15 abandoned mineshafts, or something crazy like that. And people really enjoy those videos. They give you cool loot, and that's why I continue to make them, that's why people continue to watch them. But sometimes, if you want to have a long-term survival world, it's not really practical to just go after 3 diamonds in a cool chest. Sometimes you want a really good mixture of biomes, and I'm always talking about what my favourite biomes are, which, by the way, is the plains biome, because it's so flat, you get the mobs to spawn for lots of food, and of course there's the horses, and there's the desert biome, because it's flatter than the plains biome. There's no mobs, but on the other hand, you get no rain, which is one of my least favourite things in Minecraft. So, 2 really great biomes. I decided to look for a seed, which was mostly made up of those 2 seeds, and it's surprisingly difficult to find a seed that's mostly plains and mostly desert. But today I have found precisely that. This seed is made up of about 70 to 80% of desert and plains, and it took me a long time to find, but I figured it'd be a really cool thing for those of you who are looking for a more long-time survival world. So the seed is IBX155 on screen right now, and I'd very much appreciate a like on this video, because as you can probably tell, this is the 155th seed I checked. It took a very, very long time to explore them all, and yeah, hopefully you appreciate that. So, also it helps out the channel. But with that said, let's get straight into the seed then. So this is where you spawn the seed. I mark it with a beacon, and as you can see, it's a really nice area. It's surrounded by, these little hills here, but mostly there's this big plain area right here, which is great to make a starter house if you just want to sleep your first night. It also means that it's a spawn house, so if anyone joins your world, they can just go straight to the spawn house, get whatever they need, and it's just really great, because it's all enclosed, and I like it a lot, And also, the second thing you've probably noticed already is the NPC village, which isn't too far away, and is one of my favourite things, because it's a slightly glitchy NPC village, because it spawned a little bit on an island, so this well is on an island, but most of the houses are actually not on the island, so you get a few weird things, like this NPC villager up here, for instance, like all the crops are in midair, like the pathway is below water, so you can see just down here, there is gravel down here, and it's a very, very confusing village for a lot of reasons, as you can see looking around this place. The doors are 2 up, so, there's stairs up here that you can't even reach. It's a very weird village to go around. If you like that sort of thing, then it's great. If you don't, then there's also all the crops, so lots of wheat, lots of potatoes, and also some good trades to be had here. So, definitely keep this place guarded, because it will come in useful later. Also, by the way, there's like floating torches here, and it's very, very weird. But if we move on past the first NPC village, over to the the west of the map, then you'll head over a couple of hills, which, by the way, this is just kind of a neutral place. Like, here's a nice place to start, because it's a big flat area. But the biggest flat area of all, and my favourite part of this seed, is probably this place right here. So if you head to these coordinates, you'll actually end up on this little bit of a weirdly shaped, like, nose-shaped island. It's surrounded entirely by water, and I really like this island because look how flat it is. Even though it's a desert, and of course, in Minecraft, nothing's ever entirely flat, there's so much of this area that's on the same level that if you want to build up something absolutely massive with just a tiny bit of work, like you remove this bit of sand here, you paste it down there, it wouldn't take very much effort to make a massive building on a flat piece of ground. So if that's what you're looking for in a seed, this seed provides it great, and this area in particular is just excellent. So remove the cactuses, and you get yourself a really nice flat area. And of course, there's this big waterway around it, so if you want, you can boat around the structure, look at it from all angles. I just think that's a really cool part of the seed personally. If we move further towards the northeast here, you can see a second NPC village. On the way there is actually a ravine just over here. So ravines are really great because they give you some easy access to some ores. As you can see, just from here, I can see some coal already. I can see some more coal. I can probably see some iron if I look around long enough. Just down there, some more coal, lots of iron. 2 really great ores that if you're not doing too much mining, then they might be in short supply. Fix that problem by going into the ravine, and then head across this plains biome, find yourself a couple of sheep, maybe a horse, and end up at this NPC village. So this is at the very edge of the sand biome right here, so you can see it kind of cuts into the plains biome that's right next to it. And the cool thing about this is, first of all, the houses are very, very tall on this hill right here. So as you can see, like, the house is way up there, but you can dig down here for some reason. And the second cool thing about it is it has a blacksmith chest. So the blacksmith chest is kind of a one-purpose thing, but it's a good purpose because it's diamond horse armor. You also get an iron helmet and some bread, but that's always great to see anyway. Also, you can pick yourself up a bunch of free food, like with any NPC village, which is great. So get yourself some good trades. Again, protect the village, because if you want to get name tags and saddles, you can do that later. But if we do head forwards from here, what else would you want to do? You head to the northwest, or the northeast, sorry, across this little bit of a hill, and you end up at my favourite plains part of the map. So, depending on if you like plains or desert, if you want, horses to spawn, or if you just want a flatter area, then this is a really massive area that's just, a big kind of island type deal. Sorry, keep opening up the creative menu. But this big kind of just area over here, you can see it's just massive. It's covered in just like it's very, very flat. You can see just how flat this whole thing is, and with very little effort, again, you could turn it into an entirely flat ground. Just cover up all these caves, and you can get that done easily. These caves actually all do have quite a bit of iron in them. Like this one over here has a couple stacks of iron. In fact, four separate veins of iron just in the first bit. And also, if you head in deep enough, if you then take a left, so it's at these coordinates, what you'll actually find is a zombie spawner. So obviously torch that up, make sure you're safe, and then get yourself a golden apple, a name tag, both music discs, and 6 bits of iron, in addition to all the ones you found in the spawn area of this cave. With very little effort, you can get a full piece of iron armor, which is really, really cool. So lots of iron, a zombie spawner, a name tag, and a golden apple, just, in the plains biome here. So yeah, you can probably tell why I like the seed so much already, but it does get better. I figure because this is going to be a long-term survival seed for a lot of people, then something you might want to check out is actually the end portal. So the end portal is at these corners just here. I'll just show you right now. Pretty simple end portal. It has one of the ender pearls put in there, or the eye offender, sorry, which is really nice, and it's also a pretty nice stronghold in general. Like it's got a lot of twists and turns in the place, but it's nice, and it also includes a couple of chests, one of which you're going to want to visit if you are going to the end, because if you are going to the end, you need those ender pearls, of course. They can be quite tricky to find, so if you go to this chest at these corners just over here, dig down below the water, you'll end up with a ender pearl and a sharpness 1 book, which is pretty cool in my opinion for a stronghold chest. They're not really that common, and it's nice to see them. So yeah, this is a really nice flat ground here. It has the end portal below it, as well as a zombie spawner, but this isn't where the seed stops, because there's also another massive desert to the top right here, so you can really tell just how dominating these two things are. So first of all, there's actually one of the rarest desert occurrences I've ever seen. So basically, desert wells are a 1 in 1,000 chunk spawn thing. So a lot of worlds won't have any of them. Like, it's more common not to have them than it is to have them. And it's like a 2 in 1,000 chance to have them, or like 1 in a million almost, to have 2 of them right next to each other, bordering on the chunks. So very, very rare occurrence to see one from the other. And also, just from here, it's right next to a mob spawner, which is actually a spider spawner. So you can pick yourself up a second name tag, a saddle to ride that horse, put on your diamond horse armor and name it. Sharpness 1, you can combine that with the other sharpness 1 to get sharpness 2. A second saddle for a friend, as well as horse armor for them, and another golden apple. Really great for UHC if you can, not die from the spider spawner. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. In addition to this first spawner just over here, if you head to the south a little bit, I went past it earlier, but I decided to go to the other one first, then you actually see a second spawner. So this is another spider spawner, and this one has 2 name tags, blast protection 1, a bucket, and it's just great in general. So this does only have 1 chest, unfortunately, but still, 2 spider spawners that close to each other. If you need string, then you don't really have to worry with this seed, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It's also a really nice desert in general, because I really like deserts. I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm going to mention every time I see a desert. They're great because they have no rain, and you also get some stuff like this. So if I punch just one of these blocks, the entire thing's going to fall, and it's always a fun thing to look at. So this doesn't actually spawn like this. If you want to confuse your friends, you can take them over here and be like, so how did I get this sand in midair? You might be wondering, and that's not really a question I'm going to answer. So yeah, confuse your friends, always a great thing to do, right? And that's kind of the end of the plains and the deserts this biome has. This world has. It's really, really cool. But just quickly show you the rest of the world, the other 30% that's not those 2 biomes. So first of all, there's a big forest here. Those are, of course, necessary, because otherwise you're not going to have many trees. This is a very big forest. It more than covers your tree needs. And also, there's a single lonely tree just over here, just in case you want to not leave the plains biome. There's also on the other side of the world, there is a big jungle, so if you need jungle trees, if you need cocoa beans, don't worry, that's got you covered too. It's a reasonably small jungle, it's kind of managed, and it's out of the way, so you don't really have to go there, which is, of course, really nice. So yeah, just on this really nice nose-shaped island. I don't know what's up with the shape of this island, but to the left here, you probably saw this earlier, there is a jungle. So, because some of the jungle is actually in the desert, you can see the leaves kind of wilt away like this. But yeah, if you look around the rest of the place, it's a nice jungle. It's quite small. It's quite spread out. There's the tiniest bit of snow biome just here. It's absolutely hilarious because it's got like 1 block here. And the cool thing about this snow biome is just underneath it, there's actually an abandoned mine shaft. So, yeah, that's always cool. Oh, it seems to be underwater too. I didn't notice that till just now. So yeah, an underwater abandoned mine shaft, always a really strange, really cool thing, if that's the sort of thing you want to explore. If we just head back up to the surface then, as you can see, it's really cool. A snow biome with, how many trees is this? Like 4 trees, 5 trees, and look at this tree over here, and an abandoned mine shaft underwater, which is really, really strange. Also, following on from that, there's one more cool thing in the world besides the jungle, the snow biome, and the trees, because we also have an extreme hill biome. So we do actually have every single biome here besides the mushroom biome. It's mostly plains, which is what anyone's looking for. Also, there's a big bit of swamp there. But yeah, heading to the north and almost making it. It's so far away from everything else. But if you do want extreme hills, if you do want to find emerald ore below ground, there is actually a really nice bit in the corner just over here. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this seed, and if you're starting a new world, I recommend you use this one because it's a pretty cool seed. If you did like the video, please do like it and let me know. Like I said at the start, it's very much appreciated. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I do this every single week, and it's pretty cool. Finally, I want to quickly mention that I'm playing on the Xbox One right now, but I did check on the 360, meaning this will also work on the PS3 and the PS4, just in case you've been like, wait a minute, your render distance is too high. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.